Step into a new dimension of awareness and inner stillness. Imagine a moment where everything around you dissolves, the noise, the chaos, the unending demands of the world, and all that remains is a profound, still silence. In this silence, you are not alone. Instead, you are meeting yourself for the first time, without pretense or judgment. Can you feel the weight of that idea? You, stripped of every role, every mask, every label. Who would you be? As we begin this journey into a new dimension of awareness, let me tell you something extraordinary. This is not a journey outward but inward. There is no ticket to buy, no destination to reach. All you need is the courage to sit still and the willingness to look within. But here's the paradox: sitting still, truly still, is the most challenging thing you'll ever do. Why? Because it means confronting everything you've avoided your whole life. When was the last time you sat alone in silence without distraction? Not scrolling through your phone. Not filling the air with music or podcasts, just you, your breath, and your thoughts. How did it feel? Uncomfortable? Liberating? Terrifying? Most of us fear silence because it reveals truths we'd rather ignore. But here's the secret: in those truths lies freedom. Close your eyes for a moment and take a deep breath. Feel the air fill your lungs, expanding your chest. And then release it slowly. This breath, simple, unassuming, is the gateway to inner stillness. Yet, how often do we take it for granted? How often do we let it pass unnoticed? Let's dive deeper. You might wonder, what's the point of all this? The point is awareness, pure, unfiltered awareness. It's about waking up from the autopilot mode that governs most of our lives. Think about it. How many decisions do you make each day without even realizing why you're making them? What drives you, habit or intention? Now, I'll ask you a question, and I want you to sit with it for a moment before we move on. What if the life you're living isn't the life you were meant to live? In this dimension of awareness, you begin to see the patterns that shape your reality. Some of these patterns were inherited, beliefs passed down from family, society, or culture. Others were formed through your experiences, both joyful and painful. But here's the empowering truth: patterns can be broken. You are not bound by your past. The journey to inner stillness isn't about erasing your thoughts or escaping reality. It's about seeing reality for what it truly is. When you sit in stillness, you realize that thoughts are like clouds. They come and go. But they are not the sky. The sky is vast, infinite, unchanging. The sky is your awareness. But let's not romanticize this process. It's messy. It's uncomfortable. At times, it feels like you're standing in a storm, battered by doubts, fears, and insecurities. Yet, it's in this storm that you find your strength. Imagine standing firm as the winds howl around you, knowing that at your core, you are unshakable. Have you ever wondered why we seek so much outside ourselves: success, validation, love, when everything we need is already within? Why do we look for peace in external achievements when the peace we seek is as close as our next breath? As we move through this exploration, I want you to ask yourself another question: if everything you've ever wanted was already within you, what would you stop chasing? Inner stillness is not an escape from life, it's a deeper engagement with it. It's about meeting each moment fully. Whether it's joyful or painful, mundane or extraordinary. When you cultivate stillness, you don't lose your passions or ambitions. Instead, you align them with your true self. But how do we get there? It starts with small, Intentional steps. Begin your day with 5 minutes of quiet. Sit with your breath, your thoughts, and your feelings. Notice them without judgment. When your mind wanders, gently bring it back. It's not about perfection, it's about presence. As we close this part, let's reflect on one final question. What would your life look like if you lived each day from a place of inner stillness and awareness? The answer may surprise you. Breaking the illusion, the power of letting go. We've begun to touch the edges of stillness. But to truly step into a new dimension of awareness, we must let go of something that binds us tightly: illusion. The illusion of control, permanence, and identity. These are comforting lies we tell ourselves to navigate the chaos of life. But what if these illusions, rather than helping us, are keeping us trapped? Are you ready to break free? Take a moment and reflect. What are you holding onto so tightly that it defines who you think you are? It could be your achievements, your possessions, your relationships, or even your pain. Now, ask yourself, if you let go of that, who would you be? This question unsettles us because it strikes at the heart of our ego, the part of us that clings to labels and identities. The ego whispers, "You are your job, your status, your failures, your successes." But the truth is, you are none of these things. You are something far greater: pure awareness. An eternal presence that observes without judgment. Let's go deeper. Imagine holding a glass of water. At first, it's light, easy to carry. But the longer you hold it, the heavier it becomes. Eventually, your arm grows tired, and the weight feels unbearable. Life's illusions are like that glass of water. The longer we hold on to them, the more they weigh us down. The irony? We could set it down at any moment. But letting go isn't easy. Why? Because we fear emptiness. We fear that without these attachments, our lives will lose meaning. Yet, the opposite is true. When we let go, we make space for something infinitely more profound: freedom. True freedom isn't the absence of responsibility or commitment, it's the ability to engage with life without being enslaved by it. Close your eyes and think about a time when you felt completely free. Maybe it was during a moment of laughter with loved ones, standing in awe of nature, or losing yourself in a creative pursuit. In those moments, you weren't clinging to anything. You were simply being. What would it take for you to feel that way more often? The process of letting go begins with awareness. Start by observing your thoughts and feelings without attaching to them. When anger arises, notice it. Don't fight it or feed it, simply acknowledge it and let it pass. When fear grips you, recognize it as a visitor, not a permanent resident. The more you practice this, the less power these emotions will have over you. Here's a challenge: for the next 24 hours. Try letting go of one small thing. It could be a grudge, a habit, or even the need to be right in a conversation. Notice how it feels. Does it create space for peace? Does it lighten your mental load? Now let's tackle a bigger question. What illusions are holding humanity back from true awakening? Is it our relentless pursuit of material wealth? Our obsession with productivity? Our addiction to validation from others? Imagine a world where we collectively let go of these illusions. What would that world look like? Breaking the illusion also means confronting impermanence. Everything in life, every relationship, possession, and experience, is fleeting. This isn't a cause for despair but for gratitude. When we understand that nothing lasts forever, we begin to cherish each moment for what it is: a gift. Are you cherishing your moments? Or are you letting them slip by unnoticed? Letting go doesn't mean disengaging from life. It means engaging more fully. But without attachment. You still care deeply. Love fiercely. And strive passionately. But you do so with the understanding that nothing is truly yours to keep. This mindset doesn't diminish your joy, it amplifies it. Why? Because you're no longer living in fear of loss. Consider this: what if letting go isn't about losing something but about gaining clarity? Clarity about who you are. What truly matters. And what brings you peace. When you let go, you don't lose control, you regain it. You stop reacting and start choosing. As we navigate this path together, remember that letting go is not a one-time event but a daily practice. Each day, ask yourself, what can I release today that no longer serves my highest self? Over time, you'll notice that the burdens you once carried so heavily will start to feel lighter. In this journey, we're not striving for perfection but for progress. Some days, the act of letting go will feel liberating, other days, it will feel impossible. That's okay. Each attempt, no matter how small, brings you closer to the stillness and awareness you seek. Let's close this part with one final question. What would your life look like if you stopped holding on to illusions and started embracing reality as it is? The gateway to boundless presence, living in the now. Imagine time as a river, constantly flowing. Never still. Most of us spend our lives either trying to swim upstream, caught in the currents of regret and nostalgia, or floating downstream, lost in dreams of the future. But true freedom, true awareness, comes when we stop fighting the river and immerse ourselves fully in the present moment. The now is where life truly happens. Take a deep breath. Feel it fill your lungs. Anchor you. Remind you that this moment is all you truly have. Yet, how often do we live anywhere but here? How often are we consumed by the shadows of the past or the fog of the future? What would it mean for you to fully live in the now? The present moment is simple. Yet it eludes us because we complicate it. We think about what we should have done or what we fear will happen next. But the now doesn't demand anything from us. It doesn't ask us to fix the past or control the future. It simply asks us to be. And here's the paradox: the more we resist the present, the more life feels out of our control. But when we embrace the now, we realize it holds everything we've ever sought: peace, clarity, and connection. Have you noticed that when you're truly present, even the most ordinary experiences become extraordinary? A conversation, a walk, even the act of drinking a cup of tea transforms when you're fully there. Now let's ask a profound question: if this moment is all there is, are you truly living it? Or are you merely enduring it? Living in the now doesn't mean ignoring the past or neglecting the future. It means using them as tools, not prisons. The past holds lessons, the future holds possibilities. But neither should overshadow the brilliance of the present. Think about it: what good are lessons unpracticed or possibilities unpursued because we're too distracted to notice the now? To live fully in the present, we must cultivate presence. This is an active practice, not a passive state. It begins with mindfulness, the art of noticing without judgment. When you eat, taste your food. When you walk, feel each step. When you speak, listen to the sound of your own voice and the words of others. But mindfulness is more than a practice, it's a way of being. It's choosing to show up for life even when it's uncomfortable, even when it's uncertain. And here's the beauty: the present moment doesn't demand perfection. It simply asks for your attention. Let's delve deeper. Imagine a life where every moment is lived with full awareness. What would change? Would your relationships become richer? Would your worries lose their grip? Would your goals feel more aligned with your true self? When you live in the now, you begin to see the interconnectedness of all things. You realize that every moment is part of a greater whole. And that whole is alive within you. The breeze on your face, the sound of laughter, the rhythm of your heartbeat, all of these are the universe speaking to you, reminding you of your place within it. Yet, living in the now is not without challenges. There will be distractions, temptations to drift away into thought or worry. But each time you bring yourself back, you strengthen your ability to remain present. It's like training a muscle. The more you practice, the stronger you become. Here's a practical exercise. Choose one activity today and commit to doing it with full presence. It could be as simple as washing the dishes or as complex as having a deep conversation. Notice the sensations, the thoughts, the feelings that arise. What did you discover that you hadn't noticed before? Now, let me ask you another question. What if every moment, no matter how mundane, held the potential for transcendence? Living in the now also requires us to embrace impermanence. Every moment is fleeting. Yet within its transience lies its beauty. When we resist this truth, we suffer. But when we accept it, we find peace. Think of a sunset. Its beauty lies not in its permanence but in its fleeting nature. Would you watch it so intently if it lasted forever? As we reach the end of this journey, let's reflect on what we've uncovered. Stillness isn't about escaping life, it's about embracing it fully. Letting go isn't about loss, it's about freedom. And living in the now isn't about avoiding the past or future, it's about realizing the power and richness of the present. So, I leave you with this final question. If you knew that this moment was the only one you had, how would you live it? The answer to that question holds the key to stepping into a new dimension of awareness and inner stillness. The answer is not somewhere out there, it's here, within you, waiting to be discovered.